Good afternoon. Hi, I wanted to do some things and share some things that I do in my classroom that have to do with STEAM. STEAM is science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And I wanted to show you how I apply this into a music classroom. So the first thing is what I call the theme. Once you kind of know what a circuit is, everything else is a variation on this. So right now I am making a paper circuit. I am using foil that has a sticky back to it. It's the same stuff that you would use if you were doing stained glass, and you can buy it on Amazon. And this is the thin one. I think it's 1/4 of an inch. And as I do this, I'm introducing a LED light, and I get these also on Amazon. I usually buy them in about 100 per pack, and I'm tacking it down with another piece of copper tape. And as you can see, I'm starting to make like a circle. Now I'm going to have what is called a coin battery. And basically what I'm kind of showing you is that the energy goes in a circle, and when I close that circle, that is when my light turns on. So as long as that goes into a circle from your battery out and around and then back, it'll work. So now I'm going to make my ORF instrument light up. I'm using painter's tape to kind of help protect the finish of my instrument. I use my older ones. I don't use my newest ones. And I'm using a 2-inch copper tape here. I'm also going to be using speaker wire. I usually forage for my speaker wire. I usually go to Goodwill Outlet. This is what I'm showing you right now is some speaker wire, and this in my hand is conductive fabric. I think I got that off of eBay, and I'm using some rubber bands to adhere it. And as you can see on this one, I've used it several times before. It's got some other copper tape on it. I just haven't bothered to cut off. Okay, so now I have my little battery operated lights. I usually get those from the dollar store, and I've cut one of the 2 wires. Okay, so if I put the wires back together, my lights light up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that circle basically very, very large by adding the speaker wire to it. It's right there. I'm kind of making a junction with some copper tape. And then I'm going to use some painter's tape over that just to kind of make it a little bit stronger. And then I'm going to put it into a white bucket. It makes the white bucket kind of glow. And if I have a very long wire like you're seeing, I can place that like up on the stage. And if I have a very dark performance room, my audience is going to hear the instrument and they're going to see the light up buckets, and it's a very dramatic, kind of a very cool thing to see. In my building, I perform at my high school, and my high school has a little bit of a problem where the lights don't turn on very fast. And so several years ago, I had to have something that kind of bridged that gap time where the lights weren't turning on, and I started doing songs in the dark. And I started to do things with lights and light shows and things like this with us playing or singing or things like that. So right now I've just connected the mallet, and the lights are going to turn on. I don't think you can see them very well. I'm going to turn off my classroom lights, and I think you're going to see that they light up pretty well. Okay. Got them in my hand. So every time I touch the bar, it lights up. You can do more than one bar at a time. You can do several different bars. You can make them several different colors. And this is what it looks like when it's in a really dark space. In a super dark space, it's amazing. And if you got several buckets in a row, it's really cool. This is a light up bass drum. My high school was getting rid of a bunch of bass drums, so I said, I'll take them. And I have 4 bass drums in my room. I use them for different things. If we do some Brazilian drumming, I put them on their sides and place them on the floor. This one that I'm working on, we call Batman. We have Batman, Darth Vader, Snow White, and Patches. So there's the same mallet that you saw before. And I'm starting to hook that up to the bass drum. And then now I'm going to hook up the other side so that it becomes a circle when I touch the mallet to the bass drum. And these particular lights have been on this particular drum for at least 2 years, and I haven't changed the batteries. And so it's not like the batteries are going to go dead very quickly. They'll stay for quite a while. And that's what it looks like when you have 2 sets of lights together. This is light up drumsticks. You can buy the real expensive ones, or you can make them yourself, and it's not that hard. This time, I usually buy my sticks in what is called a brick, and which is like 12 pairs. And in this one, I used a coin and fairy light. And so then I just wrapped them around the stick about 1/3 of the way up, and put a protective cover of mailing tape around them. You can either put the coin in your hand, or you could use a piece of elastic around the wrist to kind of keep the battery pack from flying around. And when you turn them on, they look kind of lit up. And at night, when it's very dark, these look really, really cool. And so, not very much. Definitely a lot less than if I were to buy those hard plastic ones that tend to break. This is called a Wind One. And what's on that is a very thick rubber band. And I made these just from stuff that I got at the local hardware store, some dowels, different sizes. You should start to hear the sound of this in the dark. It's really amazing. If you start off with something with just this kind of low rumbly sound, it's really, really cool. And then in the dark, we added some lights to them. They spin around. And if you got a whole bunch of them together, it is a very dramatic look. So over here on my side, this is at least 25 of those. They're hard to store, but they'll stay right there. And then I wanted to show you about a laser light show that we've done. And kind of hidden in my room are a whole bunch of old projectors. And I have at least 5. And the reason why how I got them is that after a while, the bulbs keep burning out on these. And our AV person said, well, we're not going to replace them. And this is an app that I have on a iPad. This one's called Gravity, and you paint all this with your fingers. And if I hook it up to those projectors and have it shining all over the gym, it is the most dramatic, cool laser light show you've ever seen. I have the kids draw the images. We usually do it with music that we are playing to on Orff instruments, and kind of create this beautiful, it's a really neat presentation with the kids playing and creating the sign, everything else. Okay, these are student-made flashlights. I did this with tongue depressors. I didn't have a tongue depressor. I'm doing this video right before spring break. This is an old style drill. And the reason why I have the drill is that the kids can work that drill, and I have them come in during recesses, and we made a hole through each of the tongue depressors so that they could wear them around their neck. Once again, more copper tape. And so instead of a piece of cardboard, we use tongue depressors, but I guess you could use cardboard. And with this one, we did it to a piece that I wrote, and we wanted to create a hurricane in the middle of this piece. And so we started off in the dark, and I had hot glued the coin battery on, but once again, it was Friday before spring break and I did not. And then the other piece of copper tape we dropped right after this song was done. So everybody had to drop their copper tape onto the floor, and that way for the rest of the concert they could not light up their flashlights. And it worked. It was really a good thing to